This is the Core 9-person instant cabin tent. I just wanted to share my experience with this in case anyone else is considering it, because I've used it on a few car camping trips now, and I feel like I understand what it does well and what it doesn't. The main reason I bought it was space and setup. I camp with family and friends, and I was tired of the everyone stand around while I fight with poles situation. With this tent, the frame is already attached, so you basically unfold it, spread the legs out, and extend the poles until they lock. The first time I did it, it wasn't quite the 2 minutes printed on the box for me, because I was being careful and figuring out the order. After that, it got genuinely fast. I can get it standing pretty quickly on my own, and it's even easier with 2 people. One person lifts and steadies, while the other extends and locks the legs. Once it's up, it feels like a little room, not a low crawl-around tent. The center height is tall enough that I can stand up without doing that hunched back shuffle, which sounds like a small thing, but after a full day outside, it matters. The 14 by 9 footprint is also real space. I fit 2 queen air mattresses in there like it claims, and it works, but you're not going to have a big living room left over when you do that. In real life, the 9-person label only makes sense if you mean sleeping bags lined up and not much else. The way I use it, it's comfortable for 4 people with gear. 5 is doable if everyone packs light and you stay organized. Beyond that, it starts to feel like you're stepping over bags all the time. The cabin shape is a double-edged thing. I like the near vertical walls because you can actually use the space at the edges. In smaller dome tents I've owned, anything near the wall becomes dead space because the ceiling slopes down so hard. Here I can put bags along the sides and still have headroom. The trade-off is wind. In calm weather, it's great. In gusty weather, you have to take staking seriously. I had one night where the wind picked up, and I was glad I used the guy lines and didn't get lazy with the corners. It didn't collapse or anything, but you can feel that big wall catching wind more than a low-profile dome tent would. Weather-wise, I'd call it solid for normal rain, as long as you set it up right. The fabric is rated at 1200 millimeters, and it comes with a taped rainfly. In steady rain, I stayed dry. One time I didn't tension the fly well, and I noticed water wanting to pool in spots, so now I take an extra minute to walk around, pull things tight, and make sure the fly is sitting how it should. The floor is that tough polyethylene tarp-style material. It's held up fine on typical campground dirt and gravel, and it blocks ground moisture well. The one thing I'll be honest about, it's not a deep bathtub floor like some backpacking tents. If you're expecting to camp in a spot that floods or you're on a slope where water runs through, I'd be more careful about site choice, and I'd use a ground sheet the right size. I'm not saying it leaks constantly, mine hasn't, but the design doesn't give me the same confidence as a higher-sided bathtub floor in really nasty conditions. Ventilation is one of the better parts. There's a mesh ceiling and lower vents, and it actually helps. On warm nights, I crack the windows and leave the vents open, and it cuts down on that sticky, condensed tent feeling in the morning. Compared to some older tents I've owned, where the inside would feel damp by sunrise, this one does noticeably better. When it gets cold though, that airflow works against you. I used it on a chilly night, and it doesn't hold warmth like a smaller tent. I was fine with a good sleeping pad and extra layers, but I wouldn't choose this for cold weather camping. Living with it for a couple trips, I also noticed the small stuff. The storage pockets are useful. I actually use them for keys, headlamps, charging cables, things that always disappear on the floor. The room divider is nice when I'm camping with family because it creates a little separation for sleeping, but it's not soundproof, and it's not fully blocking light. If someone's using a lantern on one side, you'll still see shadows on the other. The biggest downside for me is the size and weight when it's packed. It's not a hike-in tent. It's long in the bag and awkward to carry one-handed, and at around the high 20s in pounds, you feel it. From the car to the site is fine, but if you're hauling it far, you're going to be annoyed. I also try to be careful around the hub and the telescoping joints when taking it down. It's easy to pinch a finger if you rush. I learned pretty quickly to slow down and keep my hands clear when collapsing the frame. Compared to other family tents I've used, the big difference is the setup. Traditional pole tents can feel a little more flexible in weird campsite shapes, and sometimes handle wind better depending on design, but they take longer and there's more fiddling. This one is more about convenience and having a tall, roomy interior. If you're the person who ends up setting up the tent every trip, that convenience adds up. If you're worried about whether it really fits 9 people, I'd think of it this way. It fits a lot of bodies, but it fits fewer people comfortably once you add real-life stuff like bags, cooler runs, shoes, and moving around without stepping on each other. If you want a comfortable base camp for a small family, or a couple plus gear, or even as a roomy tent for 2 people who just want space, it makes sense. If you're trying to sleep 9 adults in it and keep everyone happy, I don't think that's realistic. So yeah, overall, I like it for what I use it for. Car camping. Quick setup, lots of room, and decent rain protection for normal trips. If your camping style is more about hiking in, saving weight, or camping in very exposed windy areas, I'd look at other styles. If you've got any questions about how it's held up for me or anything I didn't mention, leave them in the comments and I'll try to help. Check the comments of this video for a link to see the current pricing of the Core 9-person instant cabin tent.